Hello everyone, welcome back to Witchinary. If you have yet to subscribe to this channel, then please do so because I'm trying to get you in the Yuletide spirit all month long. And today I wanted to bring to you the October 2017 Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Arts kit. This kit is sadly no longer available, it's obviously from last year, but I never got around to using this kit until recently, so I wanted to create some long cards using the stamp set. Really quickly, I really wanted to show you the coordinating dies that this kit came with. This kit was pretty big and you can make a ton of different scenes with it. Anything ranging from the North Pole to Santa's workshop to a snowy winter scene. For whatever reason, I did not play with this kit and I'm not entirely sure why. I'm pretty sure it was because this was going to be a very labor intensive coloring kit and I didn't really have the tools to do it, but I could be very wrong. Anyway, today we're about this life and we're going to play with this kit. So to start off, I'm going to ink up all of my images that have all of the coordinating dies too. And I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo black ink to do so. Just to save a little bit of time on fussy cutting. I know that was really specific to only use the images that have coordinating dies too. However, yeah, even though I'm the queen of fussy cutting, these images were way too tiny for all of that. So yeah. Also, just as a heads up, I do a lot of the coloring for these images with Prismacolor pencils, and I do it off camera. If I had Copics, this would have been a lot easier, but I don't have that many Copics for these tiny little itty bitty colors, and I didn't want to use my watercolors just because they didn't blend well in these tiny itty bitty little images. So I did all of my coloring over the span of 2 days, and I just wanted to save time on this video, so I decided to omit the pain of you guys needing or having to watch all of that. So there you go. After taking out the time to color all of those images, I took out the time to cut out my card bases from Mint Simon Says Stamp cardstock and some Rouge paper presentation paper. I'm going to use the fancy dies that came in this kit to make the middle ground of this card, and I'm going to use some spruce paper from Paper Source and some gray paper I had lying around. I'm not sure where the stuff came from, but you know how stuff is sometimes when you don't clean out your craft room, stuff just appears. Once I'm done die cutting everything, I want to make sure that the images fit, so I'm just going to lay them out just to measure them, and wherever there's a weird edge, I'm just going to improvise and cut like whatever that edge is just to make it look a little bit more organic. And because my dies didn't fit all the way through, I just kind of put my dies in one right next to another. Like if I used my tree die, after I was done running it through my die cut machine, I would lay down the exact same die right next to it. That's how I got these super long border looking backgrounds. Anyway, for my first background, I am going to make some of those awesome snowy blended backgrounds. So I'm going to first take my Twisted Citron at the top, then my Mowed Lawn blending upwards but not too far for my second color. I just kind of want there to be a distinct contrast to make the green pop against the red card base that I'm going to put this on. I'm then going to blend with some chipped sapphire and some peacock feathers just to give the illusion of night, and this layer is going to peek through from the bottom of the die cut paper. And at the top, I'm going to use some Distress Oxide ink in Black Soot to further contrast that light green. I find that if your background looks like there's an alien abduction taking place, then you're totally doing the Northern Lights thing very right. So just aim for alien abduction. If you land in the middle, you got it right. For my second card, I'm going to use my Distress Oxide ink in the color Stormy Sky, followed by Chipped Sapphire. I wish that I could have started with Tumbled Glass, Distress Oxide, and then worked my way down with other shades so I could get the same effect that I did before. Maybe even added some pink and purple Distress inks, but I didn't do that. I'm kind of sad about it, but whatever. I'm then going to use that Chipped Sapphire, as you guys can tell, and finally I'm going to use my peacock feathers to give a nice bright color to my background. Honestly, I go back and forth a little bit more just to make sure this one's a little bit more blended in. This one kind of looks like there's a snowstorm happening instead of like a night with northern lights, but it's okay. We made it work. After this is nice and blended and I can get that nice brightness from the peacock feathers, it's basically time to splatter. I'm going to use some clean water to get some of those lighter spots on my background, followed by some silver fine tech ink. And finally, some Snowcap alcohol ink for my snow splatter. I'm to a point now where I really love to do these so much. I am right there along with Jessica Mayday. I'm either going to need a Dexter room that everything's just covered in film, or I'm just going to need a taller splatter box. Currently, I use my Simon Says stamp one, but it's really beginning to, I don't know how, but somehow I still got some white splatter on my craft mat, and I think that I might either need a new craft mat for Christmas, or I might have to invest in the other glass mat. But I have so many lights over my head right now that I don't want there to be such a glare. But anyway, once I was done kind of just drying off like that Fine Tech ink, then I'm going to use the Snow Cap alcohol ink just to create my splatter. In the time since this video, I have been able to find my acrylic white ink, and I will probably be doing that in the future if I do choose to keep doing these backgrounds. They are my absolute favorite. They do just add a little bit of pizzazz to my cards that I think that we kind of all need, you know. We all need a little bit of glitz. We all need that holiday. What? Oh my god. But I don't know. I feel like these cards or these backgrounds do it, and that's why I've been seeing them so often, and I'm really, really happy I started experimenting with them. Anyway, after everything is dry, I'm going to use my Scotch foam tape to raise up my warped backgrounds because these were very warped. I used regular scrap paper instead of using Strathmore watercolor paper, and that was my mistake, but whatever. Once they are raised, it's time to build these backgrounds. So I'm going to tape down my actual backgrounds down to my card bases. And once they are nice and adhered down, it's time to actually start building my backgrounds. I'm going to take down my trees and mountains using my thermal web tape runner. And in order to get those long strips, like I mentioned, I did have to use my die just twice, and it did give me some weird angles at some point. If you do have this kit and you choose to do something like it, just remember, don't fret if you do get those really weird corners, just because there are certain things that you can do to cover them up. Like here, I am using my forest just to cover up that little indiscretion with the mountain. And later on, where there's a little bit of weirdness with my trees, I am going to be covering it up with my North Pole scene. I'm going for very similar cards just to save on time. And speaking of time, I underestimated just how busy I would be this holiday season. I don't want to burn myself out between work, family, and YouTube, especially during, you know, the most wonderful time of year. So I'm pretty sure we can all relate. Everyone's super busy wrapping gifts and whatnot. Probably not really paying attention to YouTube. So I'm really trying to kind of slow down my pace for YouTube. I will try to pump out as many videos as I can, but I'm just letting you guys know if it isn't quick or if I'm not as present on social media or anything like that. Just bear with me. It is the holidays, and this is one of my favorite holidays as well, so I really, really want to make sure that I do get to spend a lot of time with my friends and family. Am I right? Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Once everything is adhered down, it's time to create my snow. So for my snow panels, I just took some scrap paper. I measured it so that way I could get a full little panel measuring to the bottom of my card panel. And then I just kind of made little swerves so that way I can get a nice panel. You can kind of see that on my mint card I didn't cover my snowbank all the way through, but there are definitely tricks to just, you know, cover all that up, especially when you're working with a kit that is a scene building kit like this one. All you have to do is honestly just layer the images where there are mistakes, and no one will ever know. So I'm going to do that, and like I said, I am building very, very similar cards. One of these cards is going to go to my pen pal in Spain. I don't know what he's up to. I hope he's fine. Last time I spoke to him, he was a little bit stressed out about life. So I'm hoping I can send a little bit of Christmas cheer his way. And the second one is for my little Peacock friend who, his name is Josh, by the way. Josh is just one of those people that doesn't really do holiday spirit too much, and he's recently just gotten into the holiday spirit because I've been kind of forcing him, and that's kind of what friends do. So yeah, I definitely wanted to give him this red card so that way he can kind of, like, you know, feel jolly or whatever, much like this little Santa Claus down here. I'm gonna go back into this kit, and I want to find any little stamps that I could like find just to kind of spruce up my foreground a lot more. I found this ho 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 greeting, and I wanted to put it over Santa before adhering anything down. I also found a little snowman and one stamp that said Santa's workshop, like a little sign with directions on it. So I really wanted to stamp that down just to spruce up my foreground just a little bit more, and not do too much. After I was done with that, I go ahead and I adhere down all of my little images where I wanted them to. I go ahead and I heat embossed Greetings from the North Pole from all of us on some poinsettia paper from Paper Source at the very top using some Princess Gold paper. And then I also did the exact same greeting on some mint Simon Says stamp paper for the second card, and I adhered it to the inside of the card. With my leftover images, I am going to go ahead and decorate the inside of the card. These literally took me way too long. It took me 2 days. 2 days to color all of these tiny little images. Seriously, this is why I did not play with this kit. And oh my god, I'm so sorry, but I'm very happy that I did not have YouTube last year, because you guys would have all been disappointed in me, but it is what it is. 2 days. You know what I could have done in 2 days? Exactly. Anyway, once I'm done adhering everything, I realized that my red card needed a greeting at the top, and I didn't want to cover up all of that beautiful ink blending that I had done, because as you guys can see, it looks really beautiful. It literally looks like the card is lighting up, and that's just the contrast of green and red with just a little bit of well thought out blending at the very top. So I did not want to do that, so instead I took the greeting that said "'Tis the Season" and I just stamped it down using some Memento Tuxedo black ink. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching these cards. I hope that you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys are having a great holiday season. See you next time. Take care.